Well, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL season is cruising right along as we have just wrapped up week 3. Some of us are very happy, other of us maybe not so much, but it's all good. Willie Epting Jr., a show enough divided again. And we have hashtag Raider Nation. We have hashtag Duval Squared, actually. And we have, of course, hashtag Chiefs Kingdom. I hate them. All right. So, with that being said, Willie Epting Jr., the Monroe Madman is in the building. Greg Andrews, the general of the Stutz. I don't know the whole name of it, but I'll let him explain it. Brian is in the building. And then, of course, the one, the only Tisha C is primed and ready to go, as she's already said that she's got some things that she needs to say. I don't think any of us really want to hear it, but you know what? This is her show, so it is what it is. All right. Week 3 is in the books. We're going to get to it here in just a second. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Whatever. Who introduced that intro? That is not right. That is not what we want to do. You're fired. Greg, come on in here, man. What's going on?
You need to fire your producer, boss. That's all I can tell you. That's terrible. if I'm you, that's terrible. Let me leave it at that.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
I'm so glad you were able to make it in, man. And I got a shout out to somebody that we know that's near and dear to both of us. She's gonna be watching the show later, but she told me to tell you hello, and we'll get to that here in just a second.
Should I be?
Go ahead, Greg.
Should I be nervous? I mean,
no, not at all.
When you said she, we don't need to be digging up no skeletons now, Willie. Come on now.
No, nothing like that.
I got you.
We way past that now.
Absolutely.
Right. Hashtag Duval Squared, and number 2 is the number 2 co-host of, or shall I say co-star of this show, and it's Brian, General of Stutzman's Army. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Willie? Greg, how y'all doing tonight?
Great.
I can't call it, man, because we lost to the Steelers on Sunday night, and I'm not very happy. But anyway, and then of course, here is the number 1 star of the show, Tisha C, in all her splendor and all her glory, and her stupid Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill jerseys on the wall back there. Hey, Tisha, what's happening?
Oh, it's a good week to be a Chiefs fan.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah. Beating up on the lowly bears had to have taken a lot of energy to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Willie, can I ask a question real quick?
You certainly can, sir.
Tisha, how you feel about all the Taylor Swift nonsense?
Wait. You can't. You jumping ahead of me.
I mean, I got a little music background to me, Willie, and I got to know, man, is she a T Swizzle fan or not?
Yeah, let's get to that, and then we'll get to the rest of the show. Go ahead, Tisha.
Am I a Taylor fan? Honestly, I'm super neutral. I'm not really. I mean, she makes great music. I might be one now, so we'll see.
Well, if you know, like I know, well, I'm not going to throw her business out there like that. But she does have a cat named Kelsey. Let me put it that way.
This I do.
Yeah, take that from it what you will. I have never seen a thing like that before in all of my days of watching football. I mean, how are you just going to continue to pan to the box where Tay-Tay is along with Mama Kelsey? I mean, it's like the game was the secondary portion of what we were watching. What's up with that, Brian?
I mean, you did what you saw the game, right? I mean, for anybody that wasn't a Kansas City fan, it wasn't that exciting. So, I mean, even the announcers were, a little bored by that game. They had to pan up to T Swift, more than once. I don't know. I don't know. The obsession is there. Honestly, I think it was actually a brilliant move on the NFL's part, and I'll tell you why. Because of the jersey sales that Kelsey just got. I mean, the NFL probably profited a ton just on non-football fans buying his jersey.
Whatever.
So they probably knew what they were doing.
Good for football.
Whatever. Greg, what you got, man? What you gonna say?
It takes me back to, do you remember the national championship game when Alabama was playing, I think, Notre Dame, and they were just mud-holding Notre Dame, and Brett Musburger kept talking about A.J. McCarron's girlfriend in the stand and going on and on. The camera was on her. I was like, my God, this got nothing to do with the football game. But, it is what it is.
She wasn't even popular at the time.
She is now. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just too much. I mean, I watch football for football, but I mean, it's Taylor Swift. You got to know that's coming.
Well, I mean, I probably know about 3 of her songs, and
that's 3 more than I know. So, okay. Congratulations.
All right. I'm not alone in the boat. Then I appreciate that. All right. So enough of the Taylor Swift conversation. That wasn't even part of the lineup, and I'm already exhausted. I'm ready to end the show right now, but we can't because we got to give the people what they want, and what they want is our what they want is our IMO. In my opinion. And with that being said, I got a question for you guys, because before we get to our teams, there was a historical precedent almost set, but really kind of was set in a game between the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos. And if you guys don't know, Miami put up 70 points on Sean Payton. That's right. That same Sean Payton who coached the New Orleans Saints, 70-20. But then there was also another game in the desert that featured the Dallas Cowboys and the Phoenix Cardinals. I don't like saying the state, so I'm going to say the city. I'm going to do that on every episode of every show that I have from now until the end of the year, until somebody says that I can't do it. And then I'm not going to care anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. So the Phoenix Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys, I think the Cowboys were favored by 11.5 points, and they promptly go to the desert and they lose to a team that has a quarterback that just got there, I want to say, within the last 4 or 5 minutes, in Joshua Dobbs. Now, Joshua Dobbs is a tremendously intelligent young man. He has a degree in, I think it's aeronautic space, something other that I don't know how to pronounce. You have to have a brain just to major in what that dude majored in. So, Tisha, I'll ask you first. I like the effect. I'll ask you first. Which one of these losses for these respective teams, either the Cowboys or the Broncos, is going to sting the most for the rest of the year?
I think that goes without question. I mean, Broncos fans already have it pretty rough, but that was pretty gnarly.
Gnarly.
Never seen anything like it in my watching of football years. So
did you say gnarly?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Where are you from? You're not from California?
Nope, straight up Arkansas. It was that bad.
Yeah, I know, right? And then you had to pull out a term that was used probably even before you were even here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll date myself. Thank you.
It's okay. It's okay. Greg, which one of those losses, man, stings the most or will sting the most for the rest of the year for these teams?
Man, I mean, the Miami victory was unbelievable, but I'm going to say Dallas because this is why. Me being in Louisiana, we hate the Cowboys because we love the Saints, right? But everybody is in part of Cowboy Nation around this area. It just drives me up the wall. I've got some followers on Twitter that I would like to choke slam sometimes because they, the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. They haven't played anybody, so to show what they did against Arizona, to go lay an egg on the road, man, I just think that's the sign of things to come. I don't think they're that strong. Losing Diggs hurts, but I just don't think they're that strong. I think we finally see who the Cowboys really are.
Okay. That reminds me of something I'm going to get to here in just a second. Brian, which one of these losses is going to sting the most for which team for the rest of the season?
So I'm not sure for the rest of the season, but I'll tell you which one stings the most right now. It's gonna definitely be the Dolphins or to the Broncos, because I'll tell you why. It stings the most because Cowboy fans are used to coming out of the gate strong and then letting everyone down. So I mean, they're kind of used to that. So I don't feel like it stings near as much to them. But yeah, Denver was all high on the season with Sean Payton coming in, and the expectations from the fans were just higher, from the previous season. I don't think Russell Wilson's played horrible the first few weeks. So I would say that losing 70-20 out of the gates there is definitely going to sting more.
I am automatically going to say the Cowboys because there's only one other team that I hate equally or more than them. And I think we all know who that is. The Cowboys, let me tell you guys something about the Cowboys and what what Phoenix did and what all teams should look at moving forward. Although the Cowboys have a ferocious pass rush, we know that. We know that Micah Parsons is being compared somewhat already to Lawrence Taylor. We know that Demarcus Lawrence on the other side can actually get out to the quarterback as well. Their D tackles are very underrated as well. Diggs being out for the season is going to hurt them, but it's not going to hurt them as bad as I don't think as people think it is, because when you give up the amount of yards they gave up on the ground to this team, 222, they gave up 7.4 yards per carry to this team. This team, I'm not talking about the Eagles or some other gauntlet or some other team that has a vaunted running attack. We're talking about the Phoenix Cardinals. And not only that, when you do that, you give an opportunity for a quarterback in the caliber of Joshua Dobbs, who was 17 out of 21 for 189 yards. What does that tell me is, or what that tells me is this, is that the Cowboys can be run on. We saw it last year. We've seen it with this game. And when you run the ball, what does that do? It sets up play action. And every quarterback in the NFL, the CFL, the USFL, the World Football League, Pop Warner, all of them, they all love play action and a running game. I think it's going to sting more for the Cowboys than for the Broncos for that reason, because the Cowboys are expected to be contenders to go further in the playoffs than they have in the last 27 years. And I am one that's here for it, to love it, laugh at it, and put it in a bottle and sell it on the shelves for people like us that want to troll Cowboy fans all the time. How about that? You can shake your head like this, or you can say something. Am I on the show by myself?
That's very well said.
No.
Very well said.
Absolutely well said. I have to agree with that.
It was a silent clap.
It's a silent clap. Okay. Well, I couldn't see you guys because I was actually behind the camera doing some other things. But all right, so let's get to our teams. All right. Oh my gosh. What do we want to do? Do we want to say the team that won for last, or do we want to go ahead and get that nauseating thing out the way first?
Can we just get it out of the way? Just get it out of the way.
Yeah, let's just get it out there and get it over with.
Get it out there and get it over with. All right. I'm down for getting it out there and getting it out of the way because it wasn't really a game. I mean, the Chicago Bears, coming off a very tumultuous week in which Justin Fields, although what he said was 100% accurate and the truth, now, should it have been said, or should it even been said by him when he talked about the coaching being the problem as to why his development has not gone the way that most of us thought that it would go? He's telling the truth. He really is. But off of that and all of the other things that the Bears have gone through, they go to Kansas City and they get shook, rattled, and rolled by the Chiefs, 41-10. I mean, it was over basically at halftime. 34-0 was the halftime score. Patrick Mahomes out there doing Patrick Mahomes things once again. I hate them. Patrick Mahomes, he was a whopping 24 for 33 for 272 yards, 3 scores, and a passer rating of 127.3. Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the LSU product, they combined for 117 yards on the ground and 2 scores. Receiving, Travis Kelce once again showing out in front of Tay-Tay, 7 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown on 8 targets. And for the hapless Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, 11 out of 22 for 99 yards. Oh my gosh, an 18.4 quarterback rating. Justin Fields, 11 carries for 47 yards. DJ Moore, 3 receptions for 41 yards. And it was ugly all day long. Tisha, how good do you feel about your team beating up on a team that really ain't really a team?
Oh, goodness. Well, we have different perspectives on that. Hey, you know what? Never mind. I'll say
no.
No.
This is your show. Be
real. I
was
gonna say I took some notes. You would be really proud of me.
Okay, well, show us what you got. Oh my God.
That's classic.
Can you put that up again, please?
That's great.
Well, look at the colors, y'all.
It's all I had on my desk. Shut up.
I love the color. So great color choice.
So is it
that was not an Easter egg. We're not Taylor Swifting this.
Greg,
calm down.
Is Tisha a closet Jaguars fan?
Oh gosh.
Look, I mean, if you believe in subliminal things, yes, she just wrote that out in teal. So I'm gonna just kind of leave that there. I don't know.
And here's the thing, Brian. I mean, did she really think that we were going to let her get away with that? That's why I was like, wait a minute. I see the LFG Chiefs, but wait a minute. Was that the color that I think it was?
She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Rubbing it in the faces of every Jaguars fan this week is what she was doing.
She didn't.
Hey, let's not forget the Trevor Lawrence headband she's got on right there. I mean, come on.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. I think we need to put a poll up on Twitter.
I couldn't find
I think so. Yeah.
Is at here the number 4 KC football a closet Jaguars fan? Yes or no? After the show, going up on Twitter. As a matter of fact, they may go on Twitter right now while we're doing this.
Let me know what you find.
Live Twitter action.
Huh? Yeah. That's why I need somebody out in the background doing something different. All right. So again, the Chiefs now are 2-1 heading into week 4. We're going to get to the hashtag look ahead for the NFL version at the end of the show. Let's move on to the next team. Who do y'all want to talk about next?
Well, I mean, I'd rather talk about your Raiders than my Jags at this point, but I mean, I might as well do it.
Greg, do you agree?
I agree. We might as well get this over with, right, Brian?
Yeah, it definitely needs to. And since I'm already talking, I'll go ahead. All right. Unless you got stats you want to throw out. Because I'm upset, man. I've been upset. I've been upset since Sunday. They literally got beat in all phases of the game.
Wait, before we do that, Brian, let me intro this thing. All right. So
okay, go ahead.
Sunday Night Football between the hated rivals of the Steelers of Pittsburgh and the Raiders of Oakland / Los Angeles / Oakland / Las Vegas, 23-18 on Sunday Night Football. Kenny Pickett, the Raiders defense made him look like Joe Montana, even though he was only 16 of 28 for 235 yards. 2 scores. Najee Harris, 19 carries for 65 yards. George Pickens, 4 receptions, 75 yards. And they got that kid in the backfield. I think his name is I want to say his name is Warren. They better watch out. And they being the AFC and the rest of the AFC North better watch out for that guy because he can flat out play. The Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo, he 28 of 44. He did throw for 324, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, 1 at the end of the game that really didn't matter. There was 1 in there. The middle interception of the 3 was the one that had me scratching my head, but not really, because that's what Jimmy Garoppolo does. It looked the exact same as the interception he threw against the Cowboys in a division round. I want to say it was in 2021. Josh Jacobs, he actually did get untracked a little bit. 17 carries for 62 yards. Devontae Adams, he had 20 targets, 13 catches, 172 bills, 2 touchdowns, and a partridge in a pear tree. All right, Brian, go ahead. You were saying that we got beat in all phases of the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, that can be said more than once. Just to emphasize that.
We just need to hear it one time. That'd be good. That's fine. Just once.
Got beat in all phases of the game. I mean, the offense went 5 of 13 on third down and lost 2 turnovers. I mean, you're not going to win games like that. The defense failed to notch a sack again against an O-line that was down 4 starters. They were down 4 starters on the offensive line, and we couldn't even touch him. Couldn't even touch C.J. Stroud. And special teams missed 2 field goals. One of them was blocked, but still missed 2. So that's what I mean by all phases of the game. It's just an embarrassing performance. Calvin Ridley continued to disappoint since week 1. He had a great week 1 with, the 8 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. But, since then he's only had 5 catches for 72 yards and no touchdowns, and that's in 2 games. So I don't know what it is, but he's figured out a way to drop some very important passes. Ones that would have resulted in touchdowns that could have helped us win that game. I mean, with how bad it was, I don't think it would have mattered, but, just a lot of frustration. The Trevon Walker came in. He's supposed to be, the savior on the defensive line. And, the guy's only got, he's only hit the quarterback once, in 3 weeks. So, I mean, you put all that together, it's just, the play calling it didn't get any better. I touched on that last week, how Press Taylor's play calling is it's just not where it needs to
Garbage.
be.
Garbage is the word you're looking for. Garbage.
Yes, exactly. I honestly think I could have, went out there and called better plays than what he's been calling, in these first 3 weeks. So something's got to be done there. I don't know what's going on. I used to say in college you could get away with it in the first 3 weeks because you're saving it for a bigger game, or whatever. You're vanilla. There's no reason to be vanilla in the NFL. So whatever he's doing is just not. It's just not it. So, Greg, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. 100%. Just got beat on both sides of the ball in all phases of the game. My thoughts on Ridley. It's like he's pressing, if that's a thing. He's trying to do too much too soon, I think. I think he showed week 1 what he can do. Trevor Lawrence is still – you just want to tell him to turn the volume down a little bit. You come out there and you're too amped up. I will tell you this. The scuttlebutt in Jacksonville was that, Press Taylor has been calling the plays since week 1, actually. And according to sources close to Coach Peterson, let's leave it at that, have said that I knew Willie would get a kick out of that. Have said that Doug took over in the second half. Now he implied in a press conference that he did not, but I will tell you what: if you saw the opening drive in the second half, it looked like a Doug Peterson offense. They were not vanilla. They drove it right down the field and scored. Then we had the kickoff that the guy dropped and then took 97 yards or whatever it was to the house. A fullback took it to the house that just killed us. But I think that you're going to see a different team in London. He says he's not, but again, sources close to Coach Peterson indicate that he will be calling the plays again, and we'll find out soon. I think the Press Taylor experiment is over, I hope. It needs to be. I like the guy. He's a nice guy, and he's a pretty good coordinator. Doesn't need to call plays. That's what they brought Doug in for, call the plays. I mean, his imagination and all that stuff is what's needed for that team, I think. And I think when you mix I think there's too many offensive weapons if that's a problem you can have. I mean, you've got Calvin Ridley, you've got Evan Ingram, you've got Christian Kirk, you've got Travis Etienne, you've got the new guy Tank Bigsby who's not getting many carries, but when he does, comes in, looks good. How do you divide all that up? I mean, I don't think Press Taylor is going to have that answer. I think Doug Peterson will. Still got faith in Dougie P. I think he's going to get it turned around, and I think playing the Falcons in London Sunday is going to be the recipe for a wake-up call, and I think they put it on the Falcons pretty good. But got to get him going. Losing Devin Lloyd, that's going to hurt. He's out for at least 2 weeks. So the defense is always kind of suspect, and I think that's where we need to shore up maybe. Free agency draft, maybe that's where we need to start. We don't need any more offensive players. We got plenty. Let's Cam Robinson comes back, I think, in 2 or 3 more weeks? 5 more weeks? Week 5?
I think it's week 5, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll help the O-line a little bit too. I mean, it's just you got to kind of hold on tight. You know, we went through a slump last year. 5 in a row we lost, I think. And everybody kind of wrote us off, and then the Dougie P and the Jags righted the ship and almost knocked off Tisha and the Chiefs. It got real close, but
should have.
Yeah, should have. That's right. But that's what I think is going to happen. They've got to relax. I watched the press conferences, and some sources close to Coach Peterson said that the guys need to calm down and just play football. You know what I mean?
You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
I got a picture I want to show you, Willie, but I don't know if I can present it or not. It's clean. I mean, it's a. I mean, I don't know how this works on your show, but anyway,
if you have it, or as we used to say in the military, if you got them, smoke them. Anyway, so and I'm sorry, I rattled off the Raider stuff because I thought we were going to the Raider game. So let me back up. Let me back the truck up here just a second. 37-17 was the final score. The Jags came alive in the second half, but they didn't do anything in the first half. Trevor Lawrence, 27 to 40, 279, 1 score, 1 pick. CJ Stroud showed some things, man. 20 out of 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devin Singletary, Damian Pierce, and CJ Stroud all combined for 86 yards on the ground. Travis Etienne, the Louisiana kid, 19 rushes, 88 yards. Tank Bigsby did have 10 yards and a score. But Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and Calvin Ridley, they have to get things going in the pass catching room, if you will. And look, I don't even know who any of these receivers are from the Texans. I know they have Robert Woods. He had 3 receptions for 34 yards. Let me just say this about this game. This is one of those games where it's early in the season and everybody is looking for the home team, particularly when you have a squad that is obviously in rebuild mode versus another team that is expected to not only win the division, but advance to a certain degree in the playoffs. Now, I think the Jags may have been sleepwalking, and the source that I know that's close to the source to Coach Doug Peterson, if he's saying that these things are going to happen, I will take it to the bank that these things are going to happen. So it will be a recipe for recovery in London against the Falcons. The Falcons, who are the Falcons? Do they even know what they want to do? I mean, they got Desmond Ridder as their quarterback. I mean, they've got Bijan Robinson, of course, and he's been on a tear. But Kyle Pitts, and I heard through the grapevine, ladies and gentlemen, and this is all I wanted. This is all I need as a Dallas Cowboy troller. Kyle Pitts, or the Cowboys, are actually interested in making a trade for Kyle Pitts. I wouldn't want that. Although I kind of would want it, because once they lose again, it'll be easy to troll. Okay.
Said breaking news, Willie. Is that a Fox News alert right there? You're going to throw that out there at us right now?
No.
Reliable source?
No. This actually is not a reliable source. It's just something I read somewhere. So I don't have sources like you. Let me put it that way. All right, so let's get to these Raiders, man. Jimmy Garoppolo is doing Jimmy Garoppolo things because he is in concussion protocol. He didn't practice today, of course, and if he doesn't practice tomorrow and for sure on Friday, then the kid is going to get his shot. And the kid being Aiden McConnell, the rookie quarterback from Purdue. But in this game against the Steelers, rather, let's just go ahead and get to this part right here. I want to ask you guys, what happened in each of our games that our teams played in, and Tisha might not even have one because her team won. But I'm gonna ask you anyway. But I'm gonna ask you two guys first. What happened in the first or in the game against the Texans? Easy for me to say. That made you do this.
Big dummy. Oh no, you big dummy. You dummy. You big dummy. 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 Get lost, dummy.
This is one of my favorite parts of the show, except for when I have to talk bad about the Raiders. All right, Greg. So that's the theme song right there for this part of the show. What happened in the game with the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Texans that made you do just that?
I will say, I mentioned it a minute ago, the kickoff, we score, get right back in the game. We're one score down, looking great. Kickoff, a fullback drops the ball, picks it up, and takes it to the house. Where is the special teams? Why is everybody on one side of the field? I mean, what are we back in junior high? I mean, that's what they used to teach us at that junior high. You know, don't do that. Stay in your lane. Everybody knows that. You know how that goes. Kickoff returns, and look, that just, you're getting some momentum. You're getting back in the game, and then bam, that hits you. You're like, well, dang. But that was it for me.
All right, Brian, what was your you big dummy from the game against the Jags and the Texans?
I mean, you can't take anything else but what he just said. I'm just gonna kind of say similar things, like how special teams coach, every player on that kickoff, all of them big dummies. Like, how do you let a 6'3", 255-pound fullback from the University of Texas, who's only started 13 games in his 5-year career, not only return the kickoff, but drop it and return it for 85 yards for a touchdown? It's just, I don't know any other NFL organization that would allow a fullback to return a kick. You know, maybe the Raiders, but I mean, sorry, Willie. I had to.
Shots fired.
Shots fired is right. Holy cow.
So I would also like to remind you that we've only had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns through the first 3 weeks of the NFL. Only 2. And this guy, a fullback, has 1 of them. And can y'all guess who the other guy is?
Somebody from Kansas City?
No.
Who?
Good old Marvin Mims from the University of Oklahoma. So I know that Red River Rivalry is coming up soon.
That's Texas, not going to be much of a game.
Oh, it will be.
OU's going to dominate.
No, Texas is pretty good, man. They got the kid out of South Lake High School, South Lake Carroll, Quentin Ewers, that is in the Heisman Trophy candidate. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about this big dummy. All right. Anything else for that, Brian?
No, I think I got my point across. I think we both got our point across as who the big dummies were for that game.
Tisha, since your team won 48-1-13, or 41-10, or 51-10, or 2001-10, or whatever the score was.
Yeah, all of those would work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you said it correctly. I don't really have a you big dummy moment from the game, but I have one a little bit more recent than that. Would you like to see it? I took a note.
You took a note. Okay, let's see. Bye, Red. You know what? Let me say this about the Chiefs against the Bears. Or let's let Coach D say it.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Yeah, that's who they are. They are who we thought they were. All right, my big dummy for the Raiders is do I have to pick just one? Jeez. Josh McDaniels, Josh McFraud, Josh McDummy, which is fitting for this particular segment. Why in the world would you not go for it on 4th down by 5? Why would you kick the field goal at that point after had just kicked the field goal earlier in the drive in which you benefited from a 15-yard leverage penalty? Why would you not go for it? And then even more so, you dummy, why would you turn this defense over to a team? Yes, they do have one of the worst offenses in the league, but the Raiders defense ain't never really been known for shutting down people over the last, I don't know, 30 years. Why? And then on top of that, they get the first down and they seal the game. That's my big dummy. Okay, I've had enough. I have had enough. Enough.
Hey, did he ever come up with a reason for that call?
Yeah, he did. He said, basically in a nutshell, that I felt like we had enough time. If we could have gotten a stop, then yeah, we wouldn't have had any timeouts, or we may have had one timeout, but I felt better about our chances with that. That's how people get fired.
How much time was he going to have left? A minute?
A minute and some change. Yeah. I mean, I feel more comfortable with Derek Carr in that position than Jimmy G. I don't know how many game-winning drives Jimmy G has. I know Derek Carr has more than a few. But yeah, I do a Raider podcast every Friday. It's called the Commitment to Excellence Podcast with me and my boy, Darian Hopkins. And we will be all over this on Friday. And I might cry. Stay tuned. Okay, let's move on. I got some true and false stuff that I'm going to ask you guys. And you have to answer it whether you want to or not. Period. That's just what it is. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get this part of this going right now.
Hi, and welcome to our True or False quiz, in which I'm going to make 10 statements, and all you have to do is decide whether they're true or false.
So it's not going to be 10 statements. It might be 4. It might be 5. Hell, it might only be 1, the way I'm feeling right now. Tisha, true or false? The Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets. I'm sorry, let me back up. Over the next 5 weeks, you have the Jets, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Broncos again. True or false? The Kansas City Chiefs will lose one of those games.
False.
Who asked you?
You did. I'm sorry. What?
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Okay. All right, Greg. True or false? Jacksonville is going to right the ship against Atlanta across the pond.
100% true.
Brian. The Jacksonville Jaguars, or I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars and his receiver Calvin Ridley will combine, or I'm sorry, he will have at least 10 receptions for at least 120 yards and at least 1 touchdown. All 3 of those things are true or false?
True.
True. Can I ask a question about the Raiders?
Sure.
Can I answer it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we all answer?
Yeah, y'all all are going to answer it because this is going to be the only question I'm going to ask for true or false because I'm that disgusted. True or false? Devontae Adams, Greg, will be traded by the trade deadline.
That's false. That's all they got. They got to keep him. They may get rid of their coach by then, but yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt my feelings. And speaking of just that, Brian. Yeah, okay. We got to get to these social media comments here in just a second because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Brian, The Raiders and the Chargers is one of the oldest rivalries, not just in the NFL, but in all of sports. When visiting teams go to SoFi Stadium, there's seemingly always a ratio of more visiting fans than home fans. Even with the Raider fandom being what it is, that will not be the case at this game. There will be more Chargers fans than Raiders fans. True or false?
True. Raider Nation knows how to at least travel, right, regardless of what's happening.
Man, I don't know, man, because did y'all see that Sunday night game with all those terrible towels? I'm telling you right now, had that game been in the town, had that game been in the East Bay, had that game been in Oakland, right off the Nimitz Freeway and Hagenberger, that would have never happened. Never. Tisha, true or false? The Raiders are going to beat the Chargers on Sunday.
False.
Okay. See, that's the reason
I
why.
put
Right
some
there.
thought into that.
That's the reason right there. Hashtag look ahead. That's the only question. Those are the only questions I'm going to ask. Forget that. Falcons at Jags. What is the key to win or key to victory, Greg, for the Jaguars? What must they do in order to not come back across the pond with a loss?
Two things. Take the play sheet away from Press Taylor and get Calvin Ridley the ball and let him do his thing and let the offense get rolling.
Brian, what must the Jaguars do to come back to the mainland or to the United States rather with a victory?
Yeah, I mean, he said it, but I'm going to add they need to establish the run. They need to establish the run really, really badly to open up, Ridley and Kirk. Kirk's been playing well, honestly. Out of all those receivers, he's probably been the most consistent. So I got to see him throw the ball not to where they have to like tippy-toe out of bounds. Like every pass in the end zone, it seems like it's right there. And, the receiver he may or may not make the catch. I mean, it's a 50-50 ball for that receiver. He's not throwing it to where, they can catch it. So in my opinion, that and of course, if Press Taylor is calling the plays, then they're not going to win the game. So hopefully hopefully Peterson is calling the plays.
Yeah. And this, go ahead.
Can I add something else too?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they've also, they've played the most games in London, so they know what it's about. At least anybody that's been there recently on the team, they're 4-5 in London games, so it's hit or miss. You're not sure what you're going to get. They're the only team I know of that's playing back-to-back weeks in London too. So hopefully they can't look ahead to Buffalo, who is in 2 weeks. So hopefully the key to victory is to focus on the Falcons, not look ahead to the Bills, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, Buffalo is in week 4. They will be playing against that track team down in South Florida, known as the Miami Dolphins. Tisha, there's really no keys. There's nothing that the Chiefs they can't lose this game because Zach Wilson is the quarterback for the New York Jets. Although they did sign Trevor Siemian, which is
you can lose any game, any given Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whatever. It's possible.
Okay, well, let me give you an over-under then. How about that? Over-under the number of times Zach Wilson gets sacked. I got it at 7.5.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that.
As a matter of
fact, that. Save that receipt.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, guys, let me ask y'all this. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
What's the over and under times Taylor Swift is mentioned or shown on the camera?
I can't count that high.
Freaking million. Yeah.
I choose not to count that high, and I'm kind of burned out on Taylor Swift talk. All right, let me ask y'all this though. Would you be surprised if the Chiefs defense has more sacks than the points that the Jets will actually score?
Not really.
That's a sad question, but no, not really.
No, I would not.
Not really.
Because there's a good with the Chiefs defense. This being the best Chiefs defense that
We're on fire.
Patrick Mahomes has ever had, right? And it's like Chris Jones needs to sit out every week because it's not like he sat out at all. There's a chance that they will shut these dudes out and get 6 sacks. And this is my prediction before we end the show. Not only are they going to have more sacks than the Jets score on offense, but the Chiefs defense is going to score more points than the Jets offense also.
I mean, that's saying something. I like it.
Because it could be 3, it could be 6, it could be 0. Realistically, it could be 3 or nothing. And I don't want to see that. But I kind of do because I kind of don't. All right. What we got left? That's it. Any final thoughts, Greg? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Wait. 1 second. The individual that I was telling you about earlier that I wanted to shout out is Stacey Neal Davidson.
What?
Yeah. She said that she was going to be watching the show, but she had some other things to do at 6:00, and then she's going to go back and rewatch it. So she told me to make sure I tell you hello.
Hello, Stacey. It's been a minute since I've seen Stacey Neal.
Yeah, she we'll get into that another point. But anyway, yeah, we going on all day about that. All right, and then we got social media comments. You might know this guy, Greg.
Oh Lord.
Define irony. Mike McDaniel was formerly the Broncos ball boy. Not only that, Italian, and shout out to Italian. If you need a car in Monroe, hit him up.
Absolutely.
Not only that, he was also an unpaid coach on their staff. And I'm thinking that McDaniel and Vic Fangio, who was the defensive coordinator, who came over from Denver after not getting the job, I firmly believe that they talked sometime during the week and said, yo, we're going to run it up on these kids, man. We're going to run it up on them. And that's exactly what they did. All right. Herman Raj. Greg. Have y'all linked up yet?
Not yet. I'm available. Just got to say the word, baby. I'll jump in on that Roll Tide stuff all day long. They know that.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Herman Raj again. Brian.
I appreciate it. Just so y'all know, I'll be on their show next week previewing the OU Texas Red River rivalry.
Oh, okay.
With another Texas fan. So
it's kind of a debate.
We'll be going at it a little bit.
Yeah. Make sure y'all tune into that because that's going to be amazing. That will be at 7:00 on Tuesday, Central Time. Correct. And then Herman Raj again says, Tisha. and then I just get Willie.
Willie.
I just get Willie. All right.
Where's the love?
Where there is no love. Just because something is true doesn't mean you run to the media about it. I wonder, did Fields say that to his coach first? I can almost guarantee you, in my opinion, that did not happen when he threw those guys under the bus. Herman Raj again. KC should feel great. A win is a win. Who cares? Even the Jags fans are closet Jags fans, right?
Oh, man.
That one hit hard. Oh no.
That's totally messed up, man. That is totally messed up. All right, and then poll question answer: no, you don't leave the Chiefs for the Jags. Okay, well,
she's not going to leave him.
No, she's not going to leave him.
Yeah. Closet fan.
No.
Is she a closet fan? He got the question wrong.
Right.
And then they say, Willie, your poll question is up. Okay, well, we need to check Twitter then right after the show. That's less work for me. And then he says, my fantasy league or my fantasy team is begging for you guys to get Ridley going. I think a lot of people are saying that.
Same.
I know I am. Lord have mercy.
Same here.
Derek Carr is up on Jimmy G 33-12 in game-winning drives. No surprise there. And Ridley, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Jags win, and Herb wins. More importantly, that Herb wins his fantasy league game. All right, guys. Any final thoughts?
I'm ready for some a winning streak for the Jags. That's all I can say. I'm sure Brian is too.
Oh yeah, I absolutely. I was ready for the season, so I'm like, it's only 1-2. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. By the way, we went an hour in the show almost, and I think that the Dolphins just scored again. I do have a question for y'all though.
Okay.
In that moment, they had a chance to kick the field goal to break the record because the record is 72 points in a game in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys have kicked the field goal or attempted it to break the record?
I would have, because I just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I think yes.
Yeah, I would have.
Greg?
And
100%. 100%.
I think
they're NFL players. Sorry, Will. They're NFL players. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
Look, they're getting paid to stop you. So
yeah.
There's no running the score up and all that and respect and all that. Look, you got to earn that respect. They should have stopped them. They shouldn't have let them score 70. So anyway, that's my final thought on that.
Okay, Tisha.
Final thoughts are don't make me find my notes again. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a great week for me. Hopefully they go all like this, but this was really a lot of fun. Peace, love. Everybody have a good night.
And for me, thank you guys out there for the nearly 12,000 followers on Twitter. I refuse to say X. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. And with that being said, for Tisha, for Greg, for Brian.
Hey, whoa, stop. Can I plug a podcast?
Oh, go ahead.
So if you like 80s rock, go check out my 80s rock podcast due every Friday. You may like the music. Just give me a search. I'm on Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all those. Any place you can listen to a streaming podcast, I'm there. So go check it out.
What's the name of it?
It's called. You put me on the spot. Metal Mania with Madman.
Yes, and that's the 3 M's. All right. Any other final thoughts before we get up out of here? Shake your head like this, or shake your head like
Chiefs.
this.
Yes, let's up and go.
Who cares about the Chiefs?
Go Chiefs. Let's LFG.
No more.
That's right.
No more. For Tisha, for Greg, for Brian, this is Willie. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. It's gonna be all right. I promise. We'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.